everyone, this is the Ember 2200 ETL, and this is the first one out from their Touring Edition. Now, if you know the Touring Edition from the past, this one is all revamped, redone, rethought, and you're gonna wanna take a second look. Now, the Touring Edition, it's got all the luxury, a whole lot of bells and whistles on the inside, but the big thing is it has the CURT independent suspension. Now that's a coil spring suspension with gas props, so it's ready for that rough terrain. So touring, but also off-road capable. You can also upgrade some of the off-grid features, so it is very much a standalone unit. Now, if that's not what you're planning to do, that's okay, because you've still got some really great features on this, like the push button stabilization and leveling. I mean, just touch a button, it's gonna level itself, gonna be ready to go. That is luxury, whether you're off the grid or not. Now, it only weighs 5,800 pounds, and it's 27.5 feet long, so possibly half-ton towable, but it does have a 700-pound tongue weight, so you're going to want to keep that in mind when you're looking at tow vehicles, because that just might be your limiting factor. Now, there's a lot to talk about out here, but I want to start inside, show you all the great features, and then we'll talk about the amazing details on the outside. Let's go. You can tell it's an Ember just right off the bat. The clean lines, the nice decor, how comfortable it is. Now, one of the things I noticed the minute I walk in here is the height. It's 6'10". That's right, I'm 5 foot tall, but I still notice that height because that's partly why small spaces feel bigger. But this is plenty tall. Let's start right up front here. This has the queen bed in it. It's a standard 60 by 80, which is amazing. And I will tell you, it's a really good mattress. Now, you still may want to upgrade or put a topper on it, but I wouldn't. And I'm pretty picky about my mattresses. So I appreciate that they picked something really comfortable. Not too soft and not too firm. Standard sheets will fit, and I want to talk about the option for a Murphy bed, because they do a great Murphy bed. You get the same cabinets all the way around. This mattress just folds in half. Not hard to do. You're not going to feel a big bump here. I've laid on it. Really, it is one of the best. And then you just flip it up and it slam latches into place. Now, what does that mean? You don't have a clip. There's nothing to catch. Nothing difficult. Once you lift up the panel, it clips right into place. You've got a jackknife sofa that comes up, and it is so easy to do. It is not going to be a burden when you want to change from sleeping to sitting. So if you're traveling with a lot of people, that's important. Don't shy away from this Murphy bed, guys, because they do a beautiful job. Now, also when you have the Murphy bed, you've got tables that swing around on the side. So that's kind of a plus. You don't have that with the standard queen, but you do have tons of storage. You've got a nice shirt closet on both sides. You've got a hanging bar at the top, but wow, this is really tall and plenty of space in there. Now, both sides are going to have a drawer as well, and you can see how nicely done that is. I mean, it's only about 15 inches long, but very nice. And you've got the soft close on all the drawers here. A little bit of space in front of that, so there's always some place to set something right next to your bed. And you will find 110 plugs on the front of this panel on both sides. But don't worry about that, because back in this cubby, you've also got plugs. Let's take a quick peek back there. Now, right back here, you've got almost a square space. That's where my book and reading glasses is going to go. And you've got a little light with a switch on it, so you can have your own night light on each side. 110 plug on both sides, as well as USB. So you're set up on both sides. You don't have to worry which side you're on if you have a CPAP or you need to charge your phone. The lighting is super important in these campers as well. Now, if you guys have seen my videos, you know how important lighting is to me. So if that's important to you, they have done a beautiful job in all the Embers because they have dimmable lighting. Hey, that is so important. This light right up here is separate from the ones in the back. So this light has a switch right over here. Let me show you how that works. Now right up here, you can turn that light on and off, but you have a dimmer. So if you just want enough light to see, fabulous. Now right behind me here, you have the 110 plug, which you have on both sides, but you have the button to turn on the inverter. That's right, this comes with 400 watts of solar and a 2,000 watt inverter. What that means is that you would be able to use the plugs to power your computer, charge your phones, do some of those things when you're off the grid. If you're not plugged in at a campsite, you'll still have some power. Now, will it run the air conditioner? Not really. But we'll talk about the air conditioners later because there is a max solar package you can upgrade to, and it really will run the AC, keep this thing powered, and do a great job if you want to get off the grid and away from it all. Let's get back to storage real quick because up at the top you've also got 2 cabinets. Let's open those up, and they are very deep all the way back to this back wall here, so you've got almost 2 feet in depth. Again, because they're the upper cabinets on the curved wall, you don't get the height all the way back, but I mean, I could lose things that I put up there, partly because I'm short, but partly because it's a really big space. So there really shouldn't be a lot of problems of where to put your clothes, where to carry everything you need. And of course, you do have space under the bed. So let's take a peek, lift this up. Of course, there's a nice gas prop to hold it open. You don't have to hold it open while you're digging in there. And I like to point out that in Embers, they have a fully finished space under here. You don't have any raw wood, nothing. So if you wanted to, you could just stack your clothes in here and it would be just fine. A lot of space. It's just like having a giant trunk right there under your bed. So, the curtain, yeah, it's not a separate bedroom, but if you need a little privacy, very easy just to pull the curtain over. And I really appreciate the fact that it's a nice decorative fabric, nothing cheap, nothing crunchy. I know, you guys know what I mean when I say crunchy. Oh, it happens in RVs. I'm not sure why. I want to talk about the window. Of course, this has the dual pane acrylic windows. They're great for insulation, but they're really great for airflow. So open these up and you've got an awning window that's going to open all the way up. Now these are friction windows, a little different than you see in other units, so you can actually just stop wherever you want the opening to be. Maybe it's a little too breezy, but you still want some air. You can drop it down, put it right about there, and it's not going to move. Nothing to tighten, nothing to clip. You're set. I like the dark tint on it because that is where you lose so much of your air conditioning inside. And of course, if you guys are familiar with these acrylic windows, there is a spot here where you can put that tab right in the slot, and that is going to give you security, but also a little bit of airflow. When you're traveling, let me show you real quickly, you want to be sure that tab's all the way in front. Yeah, you guys already know that, I bet. Privacy shade, screen on the top. Beautiful. You can put it any way you want, either all the way up, all the way down, or somewhere in the middle. These are really nice units. Now these are held together by a magnet, so there is no clip to break off or get lost. Just a beautiful setup here. And I love the clean look. You don't have big valances that are taking up the space or making it feel a little bit cluttered. I like the clean look of that, and it's so functional. Now, while we're talking about airflow, let's talk about the Chill Cube 18,000 BTU air conditioner. That is an amazing thing that has just come out in the past year, and you get such a powerful air conditioner. It's quieter than almost anything on the market, and in this unit you have the option for two, which is what this trailer has. So two ACs, you know, in Texas it gets to be 110 degrees, so having it super cooled is really nice, especially since the back flex area could be bunks. You get 4 people in here, you'll want to be sure that end of the trailer stays really cool. So, Chill Cube air conditioners, two 18,000 BTU air conditioners, pretty incredible. All right, the kitchen is the next thing I want to show you because they have put the solid surface countertops in here and they are beautiful, just gorgeous. This kitchen is so nice. Now, they've got these cabinets in their Overland series, not their E series, but the Overland and the Touring have these really nice solid surface countertops. You know, this design gives you 2 seats here. You don't have a kitchen table or a booth dinette. You do have 2 stools here right at the kitchen, which is nice. But you've also got theater seating with tables. Now the tables are removable if you don't need them, but that way if you have 4 people, 2 eat here, 2 can eat right here, and everybody's happy. So right as you come in the door, you have the controls for the air conditioner, really nice, and then your control panel right here at the end of the cabinet. I really like this control panel. Is that weird? But it's so easy to read, easy to use. They identify the lights, they're push button, and you don't have 18 switches to try to figure out which switch is which. Love that. And you can see, of course, the tank levels as well. You've got 55 gallons of fresh water, 35 gray, and 35 black. Wow, that's awesome. You've got the ceiling light, the awning light, the water pump. You've got a light on the step, and then you've got your accent lights that are separate as well. Now, one of the things I like the most is that, of course, like I mentioned before, it has a dimmer switch. Right up top, you can see it dim down those ceiling lights, so you get to create whatever lighting you need. I love that. So you can also control, of course, your awning and your slide under here. Down below, maybe it's not so easy to get to if you're standing up, but if you're outside the coach, very easy to reach in and get to it. So right down here by the floor, you have a night light with its own little switch right there, so you can turn it on and off because maybe that's too bright for you. Easy to just switch that off. Now right above it is the dimmer switch for the awning light. One more thing I want to mention is that Ember has an app so that you can connect to your controls. You can put the awning out, you can turn the lights on and off, put the slide out in and out, all through the app. And that makes everything controllable on your phone. That is convenience. Now let's go back around. I want to take a look at the kitchen, the storage, and yeah, how that's going to work for you. This kitchen starts off with a really nice, large rectangular sink. You've got a small grid going across it. Now it doesn't go all the way across, which kind of keeps it from being too cumbersome, and you don't have to roll it back to access the sink, but you've got a nice space to dry things, set it up here, let it drip through, and you know, if you don't need it, it just rolls up and gets out of your way. This is about 6-7 inches deep. It is a brushed aluminum. You've got the high faucet, single handle, with, of course, the sprayer right here. Very well done. And the other thing I really like, you have 2 more plugs. One right here and one right there. And instead of putting them in the way or up here where they look really terrible, they are underneath this bar. So easy to plug something in right there if you needed something right at the back of your sink, or maybe the coffee pot on the other side. But I got a better spot for the coffee pot. You've probably seen it already in the video. But At any rate, what a great job. The sink here, space all around here for prep and counter space, and then the 2-burner stove. These 2-burner stoves are really nice because they're 2 high output burners. They have the iron grid on the top, so it's really easy to clean, easy to work with, and for most people, I mean for almost everyone, 2 burners is really enough. When you're not using it, you guys already know, you just fold this down and look at that countertop space. A little teeny tiny hood vent here, which is perfect for this stove. And of course, it's got a light and a fan in it. And down below, you have not just a microwave, not just a convection, but also the air fryer. All 3 right under here. So it's a really clean look. It can do anything. You can bake a cake, you can grill a steak, and that rhymes. I don't know what else you could do, but I mean, pretty much any type of cooking can be done in here. Now, your turkey might be too big to fit in there. I'll grant you that. I know we get that in the comments, but you've still got everything you need here to cook really well when you're on the road. The backsplash, what a great job. Nothing too flashy, nothing too designer-ish, if that's a word, I don't know. But it gives you a nice, calm feeling in here. The storage, well, you've got the storage right up here. Wow, that's probably almost 2 feet deep. And it is the full width of this cabinet. There's no dividers, fit all kinds of food up there. You do have 3 drawers to the left of the microwave. Now, these drawers, they're only probably 10 inches wide, but they certainly would work for me because they're probably almost 18 inches long, and the nice soft close there. The thing that I love the most is the space underneath the sink. I mean, it's big enough for a trash can. It's big enough for all kinds of things to fit right under here, easy to get to. And it's not the only storage in the area. You've also got right back here 2 big shelves, the full depth all the way to the wall, and 2 more underneath. Now, this is what most of you would say is the pantry, but it can be anything. If you're carrying 2 kids, they're going to need some of this for their space. But then the top 2 maybe are pantry because, kids eat a lot. You're going to have to take some food. So these, I can't tell you, probably 2.5 feet deep. Nice big spaces there. And then you have this great space. So up here, nice big cabinet there, probably 1 foot deep and really nice width on it, nice height. Maybe that's where all the toys and games go. And underneath, a light right down on this countertop with its own switch. Now, it doesn't have a dimmer, guys, but yeah, that's okay. I love the single light right here, the plug right on the side. This is my coffee space. Now, this is the controls for the other AC because there's 2 of them. And these ACs are probably only 6 feet apart, but that is the space they had to be sure that back here gets really cold if you're in one of those Texas summers. Now below you have the furnace, 30,000 BTU furnace. Now you do have an enclosed underbelly. You've got tank heaters in this unit, so you don't have to worry about the cold weather either. Not with that guy. Let's take a look at the refrigerator. And 10.6 cubic foot. I mean, seriously, I love this. And I love this style of refrigerator. The solid black front, Furrion just did a beautiful job. Little bit of storage underneath here. You've got a nice drawer. Yeah, so that's nice. And then more storage underneath on the top half. Really, tons of storage right here in this area. Very well done. Now, can't leave without talking about this theater seating. So let's take a peek. If you wanted the sofa, that certainly can be done, but I'm not quite sure why you would want that. This is so comfortable. And of course you get the nice footrest. It is heated and you have USB port right there. So you can charge your phone while you're sitting here. I mean, rainy day, I might never get up. I'd probably get hungry. So this can be the space that you want. Now, if you don't have the tables, you do have a little bit of side counter over here. So you can take the tables out. They can be stored under the bed or just leave them at home if you don't use them. And you've got a nice open space. 110 plug right here, and the light right above you is on its own switch. You know, one of the best things about these really comfy theater seats is that the TV is right in front of me. But even if you're laying in bed or maybe over in the other side of the trailer, it does come out on a swing arm and it can turn in either direction. So behind me is this space that can really be anything you want it to be. Right now it's set up with 2 bunks. Now it's got the Ember track system in it, so you could have 3 bunks, put another mattress on the floor, you know, bring your kids and a friend, or maybe it's an office for you. Maybe you want to carry those e-bikes. Maybe you want to carry a kayak. You've got a back door there, slide it right through here. You've got plenty of space. If you're a fisherman, you can do both. You can have bunks, slide all your gear underneath, and you're good to go. So the space can really be designed in so many different ways that if you need a little extra storage or maybe a little extra workspace, that makes perfect sense. It's also very accessible from the outside, so I'll show you that once we get out there. Now, the last thing I want to show you in here is going to be this corner bath. And wow, they've done a nice job. Now, inside the bathroom, yeah, it's amazing space. Porcelain toilet is kind of angled in the corner, so you'll have plenty of knee room on the front and on the sides. They've used the solid surface countertop in here. They didn't use the smallest sink that's available, which we're seeing in some units, even the nicer ones. So a nice oval, I guess, not round, but aluminum sink here with a nice black faucet on it. Now you do have the water heater controls right here. And this trailer's equipped with the on-demand tankless water heater. Love that. One of the small touches that they did was they put a light behind this mirror. So it's a nice soft glow, but it helps light up when you're looking in the mirror. Really nice there. And open it up, you've got 2 nice shelves. And the plugs down below, you've got for the lighting that's behind the mirror, the fan, all separate right there. Very easy to use, right? Now right over here, you've got hooks for hanging your towels, and these shelves are narrow. They're probably 4 or 5 inches wide, but they go the depth, yes, of this entire shower, which is really nice. So kind of a long, narrow nooks, but great for towels, great for stacking the things that you need in there. So yeah, I think they're useful. More storage right under here, underneath the sink at the top. Now you do have to work around the drain, but yeah, it's great space. The nice space is right here where you get a little extra countertop and 2 shelves underneath. Plenty of space in here for storage, plenty of space to move around, even if you're maybe a larger person than I am. And in the shower, wow, you're gonna lose about, I would say, 4 inches. So this is only 6'6" in here, but then you gain a couple inches with the skylight. So the height is here for almost anyone. You've got a nice pull screen here, very easy to do, and it slides right back into place all by itself. Black handles, a nice shower miser here. I mean, this makes all the difference, particularly if you're boondocking. And then a nice shelf here for anything that you need to store in the shower. So guys, plenty of elbow room in here. Bathroom's well done, well lit, well ventilated with a nice fan up there. So yeah, it works well with this trailer. Now, I want to head outside and show you some of the really nice features out there. So let's get going. Stepping out, you've got nice sturdy steps that just fold in, get out of your way. But this is my favorite handle in the business. And it's because it's so sturdy when you walk out. It's long because you do have 3 steps here. You're going to want that clearance when you're getting off-road. But it's so easy to operate. Just slides right up, folds down, and gets out of the way. You've got 110 right here, anything you want to plug in, and your furnace outlet. This is a spray port. Plug in that spray port, you've got a coil with a spray on the end. So great if you're cooking, because the plug-in for the gas port is right underneath here. So if you wanted to do a gas grill out here, just plug in and you're good to go. Now I want to point out before we get any further that this has a 20-foot awning on it. 20 feet, folks. It's the full length of this trailer pretty much. And that's going to give you huge outdoor space. So whatever you want to do outside, you're protected from the sun and the weather. Now this is really interesting. They could have set this up so it was one big awning door. Let me see if I can get it open for you. But they didn't. They set it up with a flip up there, and it also doubles as a window, and this folds down and doubles as a table. That is really a great feature because you could put your grill here, do some cooking, and yeah, of course you don't want everything going in the trailer, so you have a pull-down screen right up there so you can keep everything covered inside. Really nice here. You could even load and unload from here. Put that right back up, clip it into place. Remember, this flex space can really be anything you want it to be. So you can set up this trailer to suit your travel needs, your camping, your style. There's another door right back here that goes into the space. Remember I mentioned that that is an easy way to load a kayak or anything else here that you need to add in. Again, this has a screen as well. So you can completely open this space but still have it screened in, just like the entrance door. A lot of fresh air can come in this trailer. And if you like to get away from it all and just enjoy nature, that might be a really big factor for you. Now up top, you'll notice there is a prep for a camera, and you can add the camera from the factory. You know, we don't get it here at Princess Craft because it's so easy to add at the dealer. So don't worry about that. It's an easy thing to add on. You can also get side marker cameras, all the works, all pre-wired and all ready to go. They're even pre-wired for Starlink, so yeah, easy adds if that's what you need. There is a hitch right here, 300 pounds weight limit, so that's enough to put a nice tray, a bike rack for those e-bikes, anything else that you may need to take along with you back here. You'll notice at the top corner, there is a ladder bracket. Now there is an expandable ladder that pulls out, hooks up there, and you can get up onto this TPO full walkable roof. You always want to maybe check for branches, check for any seals that might need some attention. So easy to get up there, easy to get back down, and no big ladder to be in your way. Now this is always the side that has your connections. So they've done a great job here with this nice docking station, they call it. And when you look inside, it's sometimes, which one do you connect the water to? Well, they've got it all marked at the top. So your water connection is right here on the right, and you move this blue lever based on whether you want to fill the tank or whether you want to run straight off the city water. Then you've got the pump switch, the light, the tank flush for cleaning the black tank, and the satellite and cable connections there as well. So all protected right in here. Now you do have another spray port here, What's the difference? Well, this one has hot and cold. The one on the other side just has cold. So that might be nice if you're cleaning a grill or maybe rinsing off at the beach. And all hidden right in here in your docking station. Now the sewer connections are right below here. Let's take a quick look. You do have a single dump here with the black and gray valves. You can see right behind it, you've got the low point drains. And something else that Ember does, the faucets and the toilets have their own cutoff switch. So if you have a leak or you want something not to drip or the kids not to mess with it, you can cut it off at that one single location. Really handy when you're camping, and especially if you have something that needs a little maintenance. Disconnect the shore power right here, and of course this is going to be your tankless water heater. Now I want to point out that this is not some of the slide systems that you may be familiar with. This is an exact slide system, very dependable. I love the cable system. What you don't want to do is just put it halfway out. It is either all the way out or all the way in. And I know your question, once it's all the way in, it pretty much takes up all the space inside. So you're not going to have any walk around room. But pretty easy to push a button or maybe just open your phone. Remember, you've got that app. Just touch it on your app. Slide's going to open and you're going to be ready to go. All right. Baggage door catches, of course the nice slam latches here, magnetic catches to hold them open, and you have a full pass-through. But what's really impressive in here is all of the controls that they have put right here on this right panel. Now starting on the top of the pass-through, there's a light, and you can either turn it on for a motion sensor or you can just turn it on and off. Either way. If you see on the ceiling here, that's the 2,000 watt inverter. Remember, you had the push button right next to the bed to power those 110 plugs from your batteries. Now, underneath that, that'll be the MPPT controller. Now, all that does, that's basically the brains of the operation. And over here, tank heaters. Because if you're driving in really cold weather, all you need to do is reach in, turn on those tank heaters, and you don't have to worry about them freezing. To the right of that, that's TPMS. That's Tire Pressure Monitoring System. Of course, we all want to know if our tires are getting low or maybe running hot to indicate a problem. I try to explain to people that bad tires and issues with tires is really the biggest problem we see in our service shop. So TPMS, it's something that's really nice to have, and it comes standard. Now underneath that, there is a plug-in for a portable solar panel. This comes standard with 400 watts, but in their max solar package, you can get up to 1,200 watts of solar. You can still plug in here for another 200. So plenty of solar can come on this, and that max package also has a 3,000 watt inverter instead of 2,000. I know I explained that earlier, but you know, it's important stuff, especially if you want to get off the grid. Now down below, you've got your leveling system. Very easy to use. It is one touch there. So simple to come out here and make that adjustment. And besides that, you've just got this really nice pass-through that goes all the way through and comes out the other side. Now this cabinet is where the batteries go. You can easily get the standard batteries that come from your dealer. However, from the factory or from your dealer, you could get a 270 amp hour lithium game changer. And it truly is a game changer. You can even fit two, so that would be 540 amp hours. If you really want to be completely independent and be off grid, that's my recommendation. Again, you can order it from the factory or upgrade at your dealer. Electric jack on the front, and this side of the front storage is going to be the propane. Two 20-pound propane tanks right in here, easy to get to, easy for the automatic switchover. Yeah, very easy to see. So a really nice feature that they have changed on this touring package. The other side of this pass-through storage, and now it brings us right back to this really nice 20-foot awning. I love the light under it. It's not in your eyes, but remember, when your awning's out, you can even dim that light. There is so many amazing features built into this trailer. This particular unit is the 2200 ETL, and wow, I am so impressed. I can't wait to see more in the line. I'm PJ with Princess Craft RV, and I so appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.